Welcome to greencardguys.tv. You need to know this. Do not give up on your legal status. Many people fail to respond to RFE or file an application before the deadline. This is why we offer a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you. Not everyone qualifies. First, you need to speak with our CARES team. We receive many requests, so we recommend you answer a few questions on our website, greencardguys.com. Our mission is to help people live and work in America legally. Go ahead and subscribe below and follow and share. Talk to you soon. What's going on? How y'all doing? Welcome to greencardguys.tv. I'm your host, John Ting. I practice immigration law in the United States to help you secure your legal status to live and work in America legally. All right, so if you have any questions about immigration in the United States, you're welcome to ask. I'm here to share insights, point you in the right direction. Okay, so we don't gatekeep here, okay? If you have any questions, you're welcome to comment it down below. You're also welcome to join live as a guest. I will be here for about 30 minutes, okay? So let me send the invite for those on YouTube. Okay, you gotta click this link right here. All right, if you're on TikTok, our favorite app, that will be sad that's gonna go soon. Okay, tap the screen if you prefer TikTok, okay? I'm kind of interested. I think you are. I prefer TikTok. I prefer YouTube over Instagram, you over there. So let's see. I want to show my background here. I don't know what always does that. There you go. Okay. So if your case is delayed, you definitely want to stay on this channel. If you have a situation where you're like, I don't know which option to pick for Pathway to America, stay on this channel. Go ahead and follow, click subscribe. All right, so, and click the bell for future notifications. If you're like, well, I did just recently file my case, or I just started preparing my case, I just got married, I just proposed to my Pookie Bear, this is the channel, okay, you want to follow. Now, we don't provide marital advice, okay? So, yeah, I don't think I ever had done that, but yeah, so drop in the comments your questions. Let's see, I see one or two here so far. Okay, my nose on TikTok. Is it risky to travel with asylum travel document to a third country in a Trump administration? It's hard to say, right? He's not president yet. I know a lot of y'all are asking about what could happen under Trump. I mean, we have a video on YouTube and I think all the platforms really. But he hasn't, as far as I know, he hasn't mentioned that specifically. But in terms of travel, if you're a national of one of those countries, one of the countries that most of us immigration lawyers call the Muslim travel ban, okay, that he did in his first few months or for a long time when he first became president in January 2017. Like, for example, I had a friend that reached out to me and a fraternity brother asked me like, oh, I already know what country his family's from. He's like, oh, his in-laws are in Iran. They have resident status. And I was like, that took me all the way back to January 2017. Iran was on that list of countries of nationals that could not enter or not allowed to enter the United States, even though they have resident status. Okay, so if that's a situation, if you're like, even if you have resident status and you're a national of one of those countries, you might want to come on right back, okay? Or if you have a family member in that situation, maybe give them a strong encouragement, come on back. And I know some people are like, well, I'm glad I have resident status, but like, yo, my home is my home, like in another country, right? Outside the United States. But look, if you went through the process to get resident status, it probably took you a long time. You paid money for it. So, and most people as a resident, they likely did not apply for a re-entry permit, but I can share that, my friends' in-laws, they have a business in their country. So I get it. Sometimes it could be difficult to manage a business in a completely different country, like in United States versus Iran. But yeah, you want to come on right back and at least come back to USA and apply for re-entry permit is the 131 document. Okay. And I think actually for that specific situation, you cannot file it online. Thank you so much for your questions. But that's an example of how we just try to point you in the right direction. Like, come on right back to America. Okay. All right. So let's see. I mean, I'm not saying America is the best country to live in. I mean, a lot of freedoms, but it seems like a lot of freedoms are getting restricted in America by actually conservatives. Isn't that a little bit interesting? Hmm. That's for another channel. Okay. Or another time. All right. Thank you so much for your questions. I'm trying my best as always to go one by one between all the platforms as well. User 1873, you filled out, I think you're trying to say you filled out your something. You said Terry, but I think you mean something else. I'm always trying to guess what you're all saying. You filled out thought home last night 15 minutes late. So what do you have to do? I don't know what Terry home means. Maybe you can rephrase that. I'm sure that was on accident. Next person, Adib, do you have information about 131? I mean, I got a bunch of information. Y'all just got to ask me a more specific, a little bit more precise question or, yeah, specific question. Luis, been here since 3 years old, now 30, have DACA. Okay, great. Is there any resident or citizen process you can qualify for? So, I mean, if you have DACA, there's no citizenship, right? You first got to, for anyone, you have to get, become a resident. Well, first, if you're outside America, then you have to apply for a non-immigrant visa. That's assuming you don't have like a family member sponsor you, right? And but for Luis, you're here in America with DACA. The only way to get residency for you currently is through, I mean, the default pathway is through a marriage to a US citizen. I know it's tough. There's not always the right fit out there, but keep trying. There's a lot of apps, dating apps, right? I mean, some people ask, have a meeting with us about like getting sponsored through a company. That is possible, but at the end of the day, you still need a waiver, 601A waiver. And to qualify for that waiver, you need a parent or a spouse who's a US citizen or resident. So it kind of like circles back to the whole like family relationship later on. So even though a company could sponsor you now to start the process, eventually, like two-thirds of the way through the process, you have to have a qualifying relative. So just everyone has a different situation. So please, if you're hearing this, you're like, does that apply to me? You definitely need to schedule a consultation, what we call strategy session. Okay, so, but if you're like, well, I'm pretty sure I'm eligible, and you don't necessarily need to speak to one of our lawyers right now, then you can pick option number one in our LINK on YouTube. It's down below in the description box. If you're on TikTok or Instagram, you click on my profile. It might show up right here on TikTok. Okay, on that side where it says my name, Green Card Guys, and my picture. Go ahead and click there. Save the link for later because we don't know. Even if you're a little shy right now, maybe don't want to schedule a meeting. I get it. Go ahead and save the link at least because I don't know what's gonna. We know what's gonna happen with this app right here. Okay. Which, by the way, a good time to ask y'all if you are on TikTok and that's your primary way of joining live shows with not just me but other people. Well, at least for me, my channel, go ahead, hop on over to Green Card Guys on YouTube and also Instagram, maybe Facebook. All right, so let's see. Next question here. Thank you so much for your questions. Ian asks, will I be doing live on YouTube when TikTok is gone? I'm actually live on YouTube right now. Live on 3 platforms, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Thanks for asking. It's actually been a while since I've been on YouTube. I've been trying to go live all week on all 3 platforms. Queen Ajoa, sorry for mispronouncing your name. You asked, hey, John, what do I do? What do you need to do to ask from your lawyer so you can switch attorneys? He's not doing much. Well, I mean, thank you so much for asking. With immigration, like if your case has already been filed, I wouldn't say there's not much. Well, the case is pending, right? So there's not much to do. But having an attorney, which you have one, right? But for other people, if you're wondering like what's the benefit of having an attorney? Well, it's not just with President Trump. I mean, with any president, even with President Biden and President Obama, policies with immigration change throughout time. So even your case is pending. We have a lot of clients that call in or email in like, "Hey, I heard something in news. Does this affect me?" You essentially have legal counsel, like as if you had a company. You hire your own attorney, right, on your staff, right? This is a similar situation. Now, for example, if you're asking me a question on TikTok, and you're not a client versus someone who emails us or actually asks a question on TikTok, but you are a client, I'm gonna spend more time and prioritize my clients, right? So that give you an idea. But to Queen's question about what do you need to ask for is a copy of your file. Now, the old school way is like printing it out, right? But if your law firm is like, well, you're gonna have to pay $50, you're gonna have to pay $100 for a copy file. Like, look, bro, come on, this is 21st century. First of all, back when we didn't have cloud folders and Dropbox, we didn't charge our clients for documents. Like, I mean, yeah, I mean, if your file's like 500 pages, then we got to do some talking about that. But we just share a Dropbox link. So ask them if they use some kind of cloud folder. You can share a link. What we do, if for any reason we have an SOP that's like, if for any reason a client wants to like withdraw from our services, um, we just share a Dropbox link, okay, and then we just put it to expire like in 1 week time or 1 month time to give time to for a client to download that file. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Ask for a Dropbox link, and if for some reason, or I mean a cloud folder link, if for some reason they give you a hard time, and then you hire another lawyer, a new law firm, that law, like what we do is we ask that prior attorney, prior law firm, or share with them a consent form signed by you to transfer your files to us. So that's worst case scenario. We've actually had pushback from a law firm. Like on the phone, they're all nice and everything, and then like practically speaking, like email back and forth, like for a whole month. I was like, oh my god, holy hell! Like it's not that difficult, guys. It's ridiculous. Okay, Baba Yaga, can you apply for U visa as a victim of hit and run case? Yes, if the hit and run results in a police report and then further possibly into criminal prosecution, okay, where it goes to criminal court. But if it's hit and run and it's considered more like a car accident only, well, fleeing the incident is a crime, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure every state has that, right? But then you have to find that person, right? So I think that could be a concern for the police department at least, is that they might not certify the case or not certify, but sign a certification form if if they ultimately can't like locate the person. So that's something to consider. But the thing is, immigration law does not require that a police department find that person or locate them. Although it would make sense that the, of course, police department tried to do that, right? So cameras and all that can help. Um, and the thing is, there's just you want to act on that. The thing is, what the immigration law requires is your cooperation to share the information of the your own personal knowledge of the events that you know. Okay, of course you can't make stuff up. So we actually had a client, kind of similar for U visa. Um, and good. I mean, it's a very very sad story. His wife passed away, uh, and he was able to apply, and he was not in the car, but his wife passed away because someone was drinking and driving, hit the car, and he is what we consider a indirect victim. Not we consider the USCIS policy manual, the law allows people who are not the actual direct victim but indirect victim, and they're able to apply for U visa. So that's also another option to consider. I mean, I hope no one's in ever that kind of situation, but God forbid. But let's see. Okay, next question. Appreciate your questions. I try my best to like just touch, answer the question as direct as possible, and go to the next one. I see on Instagram. Thanks for your questions over here. Miri Yusuf. You filed your case in 2021, but you still haven't received any interview date. What kind of case did you file? When you put your case number in, it says case processing normally. Go figure. And now, look, if it's a family preference and your petition is still pending for 3 years, like for you, 3 years, Amir Yusuf, then we may want to consider a lawsuit. In any situation, if you have a case pending since 2021, that's a trigger that you need to think about mandamus lawsuit, and it'll be a pleasure to walk you through that. If you go to my link, you can my link. You can go down, scroll down. I think option 3 or 4 is our mandamus guide, our free guide to share information with you. Okay, if you go to my main website, then it looks something like this. Okay, and we have a bunch of free guides. Okay, right up here on YouTube, you can see this. All right. Let's see. Let me go to the next question. On YouTube, Sonia, as a naturalized U.S. citizen with 2 minor kids living in the U.S. with you, the kids have green cards. So do they apply for their passport first or certificate of citizenship? They have to apply for citizenship. I know it's weird, even though, yeah, they still have to apply for citizenship. Okay. They can't skip that document because that document from USCS will be proof to the U.S. Department of State for their passport, the U.S. passport. Okay, hopefully that helps. Use Lopez, can I please talk about PD? I mean, when y'all ask me about like, can I please talk about a certain topic? Like, that's not. I need a little bit more specific for the purpose of the Q&A because it's meant to be fast, right? If you're wondering more like, is it still exist? Yeah, it still exists right now for at least another 4 days, but it will take some time, hopefully, and not sooner than later. That President Trump, I think it's we all assume that they will somehow limit PD, which is what they did in 2017 and 2020. So we expect that. Okay, we expect, unfortunately, that the uh, Attorney General, actually, I think she just had a hearing yesterday, Pam Bondi, that she will probably change some things with the Department of Justice for the court system. So that's something to expect. Okay, Amir, back to Amir Yusuf on Instagram. Okay, you filed a 485. Is your sponsor your spouse that's a U.S. citizen or resident? And if not, if it's not a spouse that's a U.S. citizen, then probably it's a family preference. Okay, and if it's family preference and you're in the U.S., then you need to have non-immigrant visa status valid. But either way, you need to file a mandamus lawsuit. Okay. Okay. Thanks so much for the follows. Really appreciate it. We'll be on for another 12 minutes. Okay. I would love to stay longer. Love to hang out, especially with you all on TikTok and other platforms because TikTok is going away soon. So this will be interesting. This whole TikTok saga is like a drama series because we're like, is it really going away 19th? Yeah, it's going to go away 19th, but is it going to come back? Is the question. Is it going to be saved? Such a strange thing. Do we help with N600? Yes, we do. We pretty much help with everything. We are likely going to, like for example, like asylum. We didn't offer that for so long, but we're likely going to be opening that up as an option for y'all because I know a lot of y'all ask us. In fact, probably at least 30% of people who contact us are asking us for help on asylum, which I thank you so much. We'll let you know as soon as it's available in that sense. But if you want to, you're welcome to go ahead and click option number 1 in the LNK, and I think there is a drop down option for asylum actually. We'll just contacting you, update you that way. Okay. But for something like humanitarian parole, we don't help with that because that is completely discretionary in the sense that they literally will not update you. Okay. So So we don't want to. It doesn't make sense for us to help with that. Also, for visitor visa, we don't charge for that. We'll send you a couple links if you need help with that, but we don't do the walkthrough in that sense representation. Um, let's see. Nasim, you filed I-130 for your parents who live outside the United States. It's been 15 months, no response. You're frustrated. Um, yeah, that's a long time. And you can see here, Nasim, I'm assuming, of course, you're a U.S. citizen, filed for your parents because that's the only way. And yeah, right here, as you probably see, it's actually 16 months. I forgot to change this out. Um, but yeah, I mean, so for any application, if you look on the USCIS page, like let me pull one up if I can quickly here for you, at least on YouTube. Present, share screen, window, got it. Okay, like that right there. Okay, so you click like I won. Let's go click on another one. 601A. Ooh, no one's gonna like this. If you have a waiver on file or you need to file a waiver, you need to know this. It shows 39.5 months. Okay, about a year ago or not so long ago, it showed about 42, 43 months. So it's getting a little better. But just in general, whatever time it shows on the screen is not like a black and white thing in the sense that, oh, does that mean like can we have to file a lawsuit after the 39.5 months, or like for I-130 you have to file it after 16 months? No, because like over here on TikTok you can see what you're wondering what this box is. This is for F2A. But anything family preference, they no longer show the number of months. So, right, it doesn't make sense to wait for the processing time if it doesn't even show up. And they're doing that shit on purpose, y'all. They're messing with us. All right. But we know what to do here at Green Card Guys. So if you want a legal team, immigration legal team that knows what to do and that are proactive to help you, okay? Now, I'm not saying that we'll call you at midnight, right? I don't think you want to call us at midnight, although some of y'all stay up late with me in live show. Um, we keep you up to date. We strategize. That's part of our onboard process. That's part of our strategy sessions. We will tell you what we need to do for you. Okay. All right. Back on stage. All right. Now back to TikTok. Let's see. Okay. I see someone wants to join as a guest. Wonderful. Okay. We got Sexy Alicia 2000 processing in. Yeah. Tap the screen, please. How's it going?
I'm good. I'm currently going through the immigration process. So I have a question. The other day, they gave me an RFE to submit my medical and to send over the affidavit of support.
Okay.
So, which I did. I mailed both of them together.
Okay.
But I forgot to have my husband sign the affidavit of support.
Oh.
So I had to resubmit it.
Okay.
And when I resubmitted, it was supposed to get there on Tuesday, but it didn't get there until yesterday. But they took it to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security.
Okay.
Instead. So in a case like that, I notified USCIS about the error. So do you think it's a case where I'll be okay and I need to be worried?
What was the actual deadline date?
They gave me until February 27th to submit the documents.
Oh, okay, February 27th. Then yeah, you're before the deadline, so that's great. I mean,
yeah.
Hopefully, yeah.
Submitted the affidavit of support with the medical without my husband's signature being on the affidavit of support. Yeah. So I had to resubmit it quickly. And then I notified USCIS about it. But when it got delivered yesterday, the affidavit of support, because they notified me yesterday, said they got the request for evidence. They get the medical. But when I resubmit the affidavit, they took it to in the same area in Missouri.
Okay.
Because they had two addresses on the notices that they sent me. but they took it to U.S. Department of Homeland Security instead of the other USCIS office where it's supposed to go, where my medical went.
Well, the main address that at least you're responsible to deliver it to is the one usually for RFE. It's on the last page. For some people, it could be a different address. So.
Yeah, they said that I should do it express, which I paid for at the post office, but they took it to U.S. Department of Homeland Security instead. They dropped it off there.
I don't see a problem yet because Department of Homeland Security is the agency that oversees USCIS. So it sounds like so far it's okay. But usually when we all mail an application to one location, it gets rerouted eventually to somewhere else. So I mean, it sounds like you mailed it to the right place, possibly.
Yeah, because I put the correct address with the correct zip code on the envelope.
Yeah.
But the post office said that they will forward it to the place. I just have to wait.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
But I was kind of concerned.
As long as you mailed it to the correct place, you're good to go. Anything that happens after that, that's up to the mail room and how they do that courier service delivery part. Okay. Okay.
And then I have another question.
Sure.
I have a friend. She had a lawyer submitted her paperwork in November to December thereabouts.
Okay.
Up until now, she had not heard anything. She didn't get any receipt notices. She don't do her biometrics as yet. She's not getting anything. So what should she do in a case like that? Because she talked to a USCIS representative yesterday. They told her to contact a lockbox. But she didn't receive any receipt notices at all.
Okay. Does she have a delivery tracking number that the attorney actually has?
No, because she contacted him. He told her that she's supposed to wait until further down in this month. And the attorney is in New York and she's in Ohio, but she's not hearing anything. She not get any updates. She don't know what's happening.
Well, I'll tell you what we do. Okay, so what we do at Green Card Guys, not every law firm's the same. Let's say we mail that out today. Okay, let's just say January 1st. Mail out January 1st. We're all off January 1st, but we email the client the same day. We print out the delivery and all that, the label, postage label. We give the client the tracking number, and then of course FedEx. It takes a little time, but we usually send it by like overnight or 2-day delivery. Okay, and then let's say USCS receives it like January 3rd. Okay, then it takes them about 3 to 5 weeks to process everything, to get it accepted, and then mail out the notices to the client, the applicant, and the attorney if there is an attorney. So your friend needs to ask the law firm, when exactly did you mail my application? And do you have the tracking number? That would give you some peace of mind, or your friend.
Oh, because sometimes she's calling and she's not getting any answer. And for days, and when he gets back to her, she said the last time that's what he told her.
Yeah.
Because he told her that he submitted the form, but she didn't get any receipt notices.
Yeah.
Or anything.
Yo, you guys.
For her on the system at USCIS.
I get that, but look, that's just bad talk. I don't like that. We need details. Like when I hire a professional, I hire a plumber. I'll just use a plumber as a silly example. Like, yo, plumber, Bob, Joe the plumber, what can you do to help me? And can you do this today? Because I need to use my toilet. Though you need to get some details. How soon is a turnaround time? Joe the plumber says 2 hours, boss. Great, wonderful. That's all I need to know, right? Like, I don't need to know the detail, like all that stuff. That'd be like, you can get the detail from me, like what I'm sharing with you. But I just need to know the dates, right? That's what your friend needs to ask. And look, y'all, like, no offense to other law firms. Like, when I first started my career, I was by myself. I didn't have an assistant, but I knew very soon I needed an assistant. Right? I just needed the income to hire someone. It sounds like like, look, I know it seems strange. We absolutely want to provide access directly to an attorney, right? But things like this, mailing, things like that, you don't need to talk to a lawyer. You need to talk to a assistant, right? So, so if anyone's looking to hire a lawyer in the future, a law firm, you need a
Yeah.
legal team, not just an individual. I hope that helps. No offense to other lawyers that are all by themselves.
Yeah.
So it is weird, right? Because it is difficult if it's like one lawyer that you're only trying to talk to one lawyer. It is difficult for us to get back to you. And that's why I have a team. I have a process for certain things or
Mhm.
everything. So, oh my goodness. Someone named Tanya said lawyer gave you fake tracking number. You called. Well, what I meant by tracking number is with the delivery to like FedEx or USPS, for example. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So hopefully that helps.
Thank
All
you.
right. Ask
So
your
in
ask.
my case, I'll be good. In my case, you say I'm good.
It sounds like it because first of all, you mailed it to the correct address. Second thing is you mailed it before the deadline.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye. What do I talk about?
And so, by the way, if anyone appreciates the way I share information, this is information purpose only. There's not legal advice. Of course, I'm supposed to tell you that, but I think you guys can read between the lines. So, but tap the screen, click the like button, and if you have not followed already, including TikTok, even though it's going away, I hope if when it does come back, I'm being positive when TikTok does come back, that it keeps everything. It doesn't get rid of our videos. Dear Lord, please. So, there's something. One more thing I want to mention to sexy Alicia, or anyone else that's like kind of trying to track, especially when you send a response to RFE. Usually, I don't think every time, but usually on the USCS.gov website, it will say something like the date and then response to RFE received. Like that's all we need to know that peace of mind. Okay. All right. So hopefully that helps. Thank you so much for your questions. Again, if anyone's interested to join the channel, let's see. You can do that on YouTube. Here's a special link to join my StreamYard. All right, so back to Instagram. If Amir is still there, Amir Yusuf, you need to contact us for the about mandamus lawsuit. James, your question is when your son was filing for the I-130, you're a married man, but he said you're a single man. Now your case is active reviewed by UCS. Can it lead to denial? Your son filed for you? Okay. You definitely want to correct it. So see if your son has a My USCS account for this and see if it can upload an updated I-130 if possible, signed by him. Okay. Check that out. All right. Everyone's situation is a little different because if it doesn't have a My USCS account, then you need to find another way. But eventually, if it doesn't get updated with the USCIS, then I'm assuming you're abroad, then you would have to update it on the DS-260 later on. Absolutely. And you could just tell them the mistake. I mean, first of all, you weren't the one that signed it. That's the one good thing as a foreign national. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your questions. Oh, all right. Let me see here. Tanya, how long does online ROP request take? Boy, oh man. It could take a while. It could take a month. It could take like 3 months. It depends where the file is located for court purposes. If it's such an old file, when I say old, I mean I don't have like black and white, but timing, but like 5 years plus, I believe it's somewhere in Virginia, not even in your local court anymore. And so I'm not quite sure. I need to research this, like if they have started, if the court has, well, digitized, scanned, basically scanned all the older files, or if it's literally still physical file. That'd be pretty crazy. Let's see. Coco, can you still use your EAD if your case was dismissed in immigration court? It depends what your EAD was tied to. If your EAD was tied to like a 42B application, then as far as I know, it's supposed to be not valid anymore. But if it's with something else, like a 485, if you had a 485 file, which is not likely, but then it could be still valid. So, but either way, don't tell your HR. Okay, somebody else so nice. Somebody else so nice. Don't tell your HR, please. Like, come on, guys. Don't update your HR because let's say today your court case got dismissed, right? But your EAD says expires in like June 2025. Like, don't tell your HR. Like, they don't know any different. Okay. All right. Tanya's prior comment said your lawyer did that to you and never mailed it and waited 7 months. Oh my God. Yeah, I do need to record a video about that. Yeah, because a lot of y'all mentioned something similar. I'm like, get the receipts. I know that's a trend on social media. Get your receipts. Okay, we got roots and routes. What's going on?
Good morning.
Good to hear from you. How can I help you?
So I have a question. I have been trying to contact the San Francisco Asylum Office for quite a bit through phone, email, and mail to withdraw my asylum uh, application, and they have never gotten back to me. And now I have my green card through a relative.
Mm-hmm.
I just wondering if it is safe to fly back to my home country since it is safe now.
Well, I mean, generally speaking, well, to your direct situation about withdrawing your asylum application, they never send us a notice back. They haven't done that, but I'm sure you checked the USCIS case status. Maybe it says like case withdrawn, possibly.
No, it
No.
still says case waiting for an interview.
Hmm.
And
So,
I have mailed them over 5 emails, letters, all that. They never get back.
yeah, let me write that down and see if I can find something. But I just don't think they do. Like, that's what I mean. The government is not organized, right? It'd be nice if there's just like an online button. Hey, if they know it's a common situation, you want to withdraw application, just click a button, right? But they don't. They don't necessarily do that. Let me add that to my list of things to do. See if I can check my message boards.
Okay.
Okay,
Just
but
wondering if I do travel and if it will be safe with CBP like when I return.
well, I mean, if for some reason they see it in the system and they could ask you like, why did you return to your country? I see there's asylum application pending. You say like, you checked your whatever the claim is, right? There because it is an honest concern. Like, why did you go back to your country if you had an asylum
Yeah,
application? It just seems a little too convenient that you got
yeah,
your green card, so you're good to go, right? But that happens with all our clients. But that we do. If we get residency through marriage and then or some other way, and we would draw the asylum application. You don't need it anymore. But but yeah, that's something you need to provide truthful information. Like, how did you check out? Like that's not safe for you anymore. Just everyone's story is a little different.
yeah.
Truthful story, of course.
I've actually been trying to withdraw my case way too before I I I even got my green card approved.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, if they give you a hard time, I don't know if they will. But the key thing is like, I think many of y'all know that you can only file asylum if it's a bona fide, truthful claim of information, your fear of your country, right?
yes,
So, but the key point, this is how lawyers think. It, it's truthful at the time that you filed your application. But as far as you know, that fear is no longer there. So that's why you're able to travel. But at the end of the day, I don't know if customs would go that far to ask. Okay, but
Okay.
the key thing for you is that you have a green card. Okay, that's great. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much for your question. And
You're
look
welcome.
forward to staying in touch. Okay. Can you DM me? I know you're on the other platform. Love to touch
Yes.
base with you. Thank you,
All right.
Roots and Routes. Have a good day.
You too.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. I know he's been in the green card guys community for probably at least a year. I don't know, maybe even since I started on this social media thing. So I really appreciate that. Would love to touch base with a lot of y'all actually, because uh, I love my job. I love helping y'all get legal status. Let's see. Of course, if I didn't, then I would not be doing this on the live show, especially. Okay, thanks so much for your questions. If you do want to join live, again, just like Roots and Routes and Sexy Alicia, then you're welcome to do that on TikTok. I think there's a button right there, like guest or something. Anthony Sennett, I'm not sure. Is there any movement for EB4? I'm not sure. I don't do those videos that like look at the prior month and then look at current month. I don't do those videos, so I don't know. I'm sure you would know though if you check the bulletin yourself on final action dates. And if you don't know how to check the visa bulletin, I have a YouTube video about that. You just have to do a little search. If you don't want to, if you still can't find it, then just email us. We'll send it to you. Because at this point, I've got a lot of videos. Okay, let me scroll down here. Okay. I'm trying to go in order of the questions as they have been posted, commented between all these platforms. So the next one here looks like Galia Al or AI with the watermelon. What about pending I-130 and your husband is Syrian? Would that prevent him if the ban is brought back? I'm assuming your husband is abroad. Yes, possible. It's possible, but I'm not here to like fear monger or anything. I don't know. We don't know for sure. But if for people who are already have resident status and are outside America and their country of nationality is a country that Trump banned before, you just got to get your ass back. Like that's no excuse. And then, but if you don't come back and then you complain later, like, oops, yeah, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Told you so. But in this situation for Galia A or Al or AI, it's nothing you can do anyway. So since sounds like your spouse is abroad, okay. Kenny Clark, could your girlfriend sponsor you for a green card without marriage? Without marriage? Then what other way are you thinking? If it's for fiance visa, the beneficiary has to be outside America. So there's no fiance visa pathway while in the United States. Eventually, you will enter with a fiance visa, K1 visa, but then you have to get married after that. But why do you not want to get married, Kenny? Not so much of a pookie bear? No, in all seriousness, if it's more like a, asset type situation and one of y'all are concerned about that, then like a prenup or premarital agreement, like in Texas, I'm licensed in Texas, my state bar license, so we help with that. But thing is, that's one, but we don't offer to everyone, okay? But we don't obviously the one need to ask you would provide that to USCIS. Okay, so hopefully that gives you some pointers. You know what, Anthony Sennett, your question about the visa movement, I'm going to see if one of my team members can do that. If there's a way we can automate that'd be great for any movement on the visa bulletin. Blessing for international students other than H1 visa. Are there any options? Yeah, it's possible. Could be like O1 visa, extraordinary ability. It just It just depends on the resume, the background, essentially. Okay, the work experience. But typically, right, a student doesn't have any experience unless maybe master's. But yeah, H-1B, the time is now. It's mid-January. If you need to get sponsored by a company, you need to start networking. Okay? Especially if you're a senior or you're about to graduate. And just in general, not everyone's eligible for H-1B. I mean, it just depends on the occupation too, which your occupation to some extent has to match for the degree. Yeah, sorry, Luis. Yeah, you might have to tell your wife the bad news, but don't tell them that John told you, okay? Please. MDK, is it normal for I-130 to take more than 11 months to get approved? Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look here, okay? On the USCS processing time, I-140. They break it down between category here. So which one is your category? I'm just going to pick a random one. I'll just pick EB2 based on advanced degree. They got Nebraska and Texas Service Center. So 8 months for Nebraska Service Center. Now, Texas Service Center is 8.5. 80% of cases, okay, as they say. So hopefully that helps with some, but I mean, it depends on category. All right, so let's go. You know what? I'm going to record a video on how to look that up because it's the one I have is probably at least a year old. Thanks so much for your questions. May Orantes lawsuit. Is there anything that this can benefit your legal status? Yeah, I mean, so we file lawsuits all the time. Like but even if your case is delayed, in your opinion, we have to double check that, right? Because some people may file like 5 months ago, like, yeah, that's not that's not unreasonable delay in the eyes of the court and us and U.S. attorneys. So it just depends. But yeah, we do that all the time. Sexy Alicia, what did I say you could do? I don't know. That was probably like 10 minutes ago. Check the USCS case status, I guess. Probably. Let me scroll back up though. Let me get one more on TikTok and I'll switch back to YouTube for the questions. Thank you so much for your patience. Sorry if I had like pull a ticket number, I mean that'd be ridiculous, but that'd be easier for all of us. Angie Rodriguez on TikTok, you're a U.S. citizen. Why has your husband's I-130 been taking 16 months and still marks 8 more months? Okay, so I know what you're talking about here. If you're referring to your My USCIS portal, I guess the website or app, I don't even know if they have an app, which, by the way, I don't think I would download that app if they did have one, okay, because it's, controlled by the government. The thing is, some people have said here in the community, Green Card Guys community, like, oh, my online portal says expect decision in 2 weeks. Like, first of all, y'all, and what agency of the United States government will be accurate in telling you this? Like, don't let them fool you, okay? I've called into the hotline. I've just, like, when I called in for a client, and then I'm like, they always ask, like, anything else for you? I'm like, yeah, by the way, do you know this thing about the portal? Like, is it accurate? And they're all like, no, it's not accurate. And so I feel bad for them because some of y'all probably calling them, like, asking the same question. Yeah, there's just no way in hell, like, the government spends enough money. It would take up millions of dollars probably for them to figure out how accurate it could be. I mean, to get it accurate. So the fact that it like goes from like expect decision in 2 weeks and then it somehow bumps like 16 months, you're like, what the holy hell? So come on, they're fooling y'all, okay? I didn't know if it was real also, so I had to call in and ask. I had to phone a friend. So if anything's going to be realistic, Yeah, you would think it would be the My USCS account, but actually, it's more likely that the generic, I guess you could say, like, where the one that says 80% of case completed within X time, that's probably more accurate. So in that sense, you already said yours taking 16 months, then it's time to file a lawsuit, okay, Angie? So contact us. We do have a free guide. If y'all like, well, I don't know about you, John. I don't know about you, green card guys. Okay, check out our website. Read our 4.9 star reviews. Google says 5 star, but I'll just say it's 4.9. Check it out. Read it. It's very important that you do conduct due diligence of anyone you hire, even if it's Joe the plumber. Okay. And I'm sure y'all read a lot of restaurant reviews, so you should do the same for the law firm that you're about to hire or considering to. But in the meantime, you can also download our free guide on our LINK or also post it on our website. Let's see. Thank you so much for your questions. Okay, now that's right. That's right. I need to switch back to YouTube here. Okay, Jay, good morning to you. You were in detention for 5 days for violating F1 status in 2014. You just got your removal proceedings dismissed in December 2014. Oh, okay. Or is it just last month? Will all the years you're waiting for court be unlawful? Yeah, because you're out of status. Even now, you're still out of status. As far as I can tell, based on the information you've shared, you still have ULP, unlawful presence. Just getting your case dismissed does not mean you have. It's either you're out of status, or you have non-immigrant status, or you have resident status, or you're a citizen. Those are the four statuses, I guess. Hola, Denny. What's up? What's up? ¿Qué pasa? All right. I don't even know why I say that. I mix up Spanglish. I just started doing Chinglish. I'm kind of curious. What all languages do y'all speak? Do you mind commenting that below? I'm kind of curious what y'all speak too. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna scroll down. Again, just want to share with you that we don't know how long this if TikTok is gonna come back on the next day or whatnot. So if you have YouTube, if you have Instagram or Facebook, please consider following us over there. The handle is at Green Card Guys. The only difference for the YouTube one is it's got TV at the end of it. Green Card Guys TV. Okay, Travelets is next. Now they're saying it's been postponed for another 200 plus days. Oh, snap. I don't know what you filed though. Okay, I accidentally skipped someone. I think that is Lin on TikTok. How big are the chances to get approved in J1 visa? I can't say. I don't know your situation. I don't know who you're sponsored by. As long as you fit all requirements, you should be approved. I'm curious, what kind of J1 did you file for? TikToker, do I think they're going to deport you or they're just bluffing? I don't think they're bluffing. I don't think they're bluffing at all. But I think when they say they're going to go after everyone, that's just literally not possible. I mean, there was a workplace raid. I think, yeah, workplace raid in California just about a week ago. I need to record about that, but and you might think like, well, why would that be under the Trump Biden administration? Well, because workplace raids typically happen because of the employer. But the consequence of that is that they will find undocumented persons working. And when they do that, they end up detaining the undocumented persons. But that's effed up, right? They should just like get the employer only. They shouldn't also arrest the undocumented persons. So that's a scenario. Okay, thank you so much for your questions. Wow. I've been live for almost an hour. I didn't intend to do that. So, but I bet y'all appreciate that. If you do, please tap the screen, click the like button on the respective channel. Really appreciate it. As I'm wrapping up here, let me answer like 2 more questions, I think, here. Batharki, oh, okay, this must be from an earlier comment. RK, you can't can DACA individual get sponsored from a company if they don't have unlawful presence because they got DACA before 18? Uh, so a company and you're using AP to get pro and do AOS, even consular processing because they don't have unlawful presence. Yeah, so they cannot do AOS. So this is going back to I think Luis's question. Was it Luis? Someone who has DACA before they turn 18. If that was the situation, you could probably still get residence status. It's a long game though. Okay, long pathway. Um, but again, you would need a waiver. I'm sorry, either if you want AOS, you need to have well, you're not going to be AOS because you don't have non-immigrant status. But if you have DACA before 18, there's technically no unlawful presence, but you're gonna have to do the consular processing. Okay, yeah, of course we recommend get AP just in case, worst case scenario if you have DACA. But if you got DACA after 18 years old, then you still need a waiver of unlawful presence. It just depends on timing, like how many days. If it was like less than 180 days, then you're good to go, generally speaking. We need to verify that for you, right? You need to check with Attorney 101. Okay. So you can see how I just went through that. There's just a lot of considerations. So, Reef, you've been waiting for SB1 return resident visa for over a year. What can you do under the situation you're in India? I hate to say, just get responsored again. Because most people get SB1 application denied. It's just denied, even if you think you have legitimate reasons. Okay. Now, look, if you're, for example, one reason I know will not work, if someone says, and someone actually told me this, they said, "Oh, well, my company." I was like, "Oh, is it because of pandemic? Is it because like your parent was sick or bedridden and whatnot?" And the person's like, "No, my work forced me to." Okay, well, the government's going to tell you could have just got a different job, like quite plain and simple. Shimmer and Shine, if VAWA and 485 is denied, is a C9. So in general, if you have a 485 application, regardless of the basis of the 485, if the 485 is denied, so is your EAD. And let's say you're considering to file a motion to reconsider or reopen 290B, that does not like save your EAD. That is also still remains invalid, like meaning, yeah, you can't use it. Now, of course, if you work for a company and they won't know, as far as I know, they don't get updated say, "Oh, I see that your 45's application denied." I don't think they have knowledge of that or have a system for that. Okay. And they probably don't want to know. So don't tell your HR like, "Hey, my 45 denied, so I can't work." Don't do that. Okay. That's my recommendation. But you have 4 years for okay, well, you have 4 years for deferred action with UV. So anyway, so yeah, will you be able to use it even if underlying petition gets denied future? Your AED, I mean, when that time comes, let's talk about that. But as far as, yeah, I mean, essentially, if your underlying application is denied, then you can't use the EAD technically or legally. But you're saying, but did not remove proceedings not dismissed? Is that what you're saying? I don't know how you're asking, but there's no such thing as a free GC. Jay speaks Igbo. Do I know? I know I'm ignorant, so I'm just gonna look that up. Igbo language. Okay, an West African language by millions of people in Nigeria. Okay, I was like, I thought I've heard of it. Oh my, you're gonna have to join the show next time and tell me like how these words are pronounced. I'm not even gonna try. I don't want to cause any disrespect here. But thank you for sharing that. That's pretty cool. Okay. All right, y'all. I do have to get going. I have team meetings. I really appreciate it. If I didn't get to you, I know a lot of y'all asking, like, commenting your question again or saying, please answer, please DM. We'll let you know if we can record a video for you, whatnot. But sometimes that's a little slow. So if I'm a little too slow, which could be like 3 or more days, then probably just schedule a session, okay? If it's like you want legal advice but not really hire a lawyer, sometimes that happens, all good. You could follow the channel, click the bell, so you can join the live show and ask again, or schedule a strategy session. But please know, on social media, it's free, okay? I don't gatekeep. But if your timing is a little bit of a rush, then schedule a strategy session. That is option number 2, and it does cost 3 digits. Time is money, right? So, and it's not like I do that on purpose. I just literally have a lot of things to do, as you could imagine, running my own law firm. The other thing to know is, but if you're like interested in our services, read our Google reviews. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is, well, actually, step number 1 is go ahead and fill out our form. Option number 1. It is a promo right now, only for y'all on social media. Costs less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks. Okay, it's $5, guys. Okay, if you just want to verify that we can help you, it's $5. Most law firms, 99.9% of law firms, charge 3 digits just to tell you if they can help you. Isn't that frustrating? On that note, I will see y'all later. Maybe later today. Okay, I don't know exactly what time. Maybe later today. Peace.